What is going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to your Thursday, your weekly Thursday. Get down with SWAC Smoke, man. Of course, we got me, the tour guide in the house, and we got Mr. Jerome, Mr. Rattler Mania. What's going on, man? How you doing today?
Doing good, good to see you, C. Wells. What's going on out there in SWAC land? Happy to be here again. Another week of SWAC sports. Let's talk about it.
Oh yeah. So first off, man, before we get any deeper into anything, man, I want to send a condolence and prayers out to the Wallace family. Sean Wallace, Southern University, former football player, coach, interim coach, in their interim coach in the 2023 season with Coach Graves. Southern great football player passed away this afternoon, I believe. I don't know the exact time, but passed away today. Had been battling illness for a long time, man. Was hanging on, but he's in a better place now. So I want to send a rest in peace and love and condolences to his family. I don't want to spend a lot of time, grieving because it doesn't really help the situation. But I just want to share my thoughts on what I remember this guy for. When I was young, around the time he was at Southern, I think I was like in high school, so I wasn't that young. But he was a guy who wasn't the biggest, wasn't the fastest, but he was the meanest, toughest. Like when you say somebody's a dog, that's the kind of player that he was. Man, he was the kind of guy that would leave it all on the field. I've seen that guy crawling on the field after plays, man, because he had spent everything he had. Getting out there, getting into it. You know what I'm saying? He was the kind of guy that wasn't gonna let your defense get pushed around. Wasn't gonna let anybody on your team get pushed around. He was a real leader and a team guy. I was definitely honored that he came back to coach at Southern. Yeah, I think he had a great impact on a lot of the guys. I've seen a lot of the players who are on the team now are just finished. Show a lot of love to him. So I just wanted to get that condolences out, man, because I had actually thought this past weekend, I had actually thought that this had happened, but it hadn't happened yet. So I'm just proud to be able to share a Southern University bond with this man. I mean, he became a great man and did a lot of great things on and off the field. So just wanted to go ahead and start to show up with that. And again, from everybody here, we wanted to just, give our love and prayers out to the family and the Jaguar Nation, man. You know what I mean? If you've been around long enough, you know who this guy is. And if you had a chance to see him play, then you had, that's even better. But if you had a chance to spend time with him as a man, that's even better than anything on the field. So salute this family, salute to Southern University, salute to the football program, salute to anybody who life he touched. He definitely up above in the great Jaguar Nation up above, man, looking down on us and making sure we doing what we supposed to do. So with that being said, man, I just wanted to start it off with that. And remember that he always in our thoughts and prayers, and always Sean Strong, that's the hashtag. Gonna always carry that on. So with that being said, man, we're gonna go ahead and kind of keep things moving on a little positive note, have a little fun. You don't want to get yourself too bogged down. So we'll start. We'll kind of start this thing off with we'll start with we're keeping the honor of Sean Wallace with football, man. We'll talk. Got the Legacy Bowl getting ready to get jumped off on Saturday, the game itself, but they've been having practices and the HBCU Combine. Have you had any opportunity to hear anything about that, Jerome?
Yes, I've been following Blue Bloods channel and watching some of his videos, offensive lines versus defensive line videos, and I've seen also some Richardson throwing some passes. But there are a couple of players they say that are doing real well down there at the Legacy Bowl. Well, I know he Kendall Bowler is doing a good job, and then there's a couple of defensive linemen that are coming out there and really showing out. I can't call their names right off hands right now, but I know that they have raised some eyebrows with some of the scouts down there.
Yeah, I know.
From what I understand, it's all 32 teams down there, and some teams from Canada. So, that's the bright thing that I heard about it. I guess a dog side that I heard, or a bad side I heard about it, that some players didn't participate in all the drills and things like that. So that could have hurt some of their draft stock.
Yeah, I know. Oh, go ahead. I'm jumping outside. I saw the comment. Herb Mulligan is a guy who I know. I've heard his name bouncing around. If y'all watch this show, y'all know how I feel about that guy. He's been putting in more work to show that he can do it all. He can be a 3-down back, catching the back ball in the backfield. We all know he's a powerful runner. I think he ran a 4.5 in the 40 this week. Elijah Williams from Morgan State is another guy whose name just been going crazy. I've seen Blue and everybody say he can't be blocked. And every year in this game, there's always a guy that just gets off like that. I remember a couple years ago, Jason Dumas was like that from Southern. He just could not be blocked in this game. I haven't made up my mind if me and the wife gonna make the trek down there to New Orleans yet. I mean, tickets are only like $15 a pop, so we probably shoot down there. We, ain't nothing else going on. I do enjoy going to the game. I think it's a fun time. If you can kind of get beyond watching the All-Star game, because offensive line play is never really great, and it's. I do wonder. Oh, go ahead.
Blue say they got more of the offensive line players better this year because more of the HBCU talent showed up because they didn't go to the other bowl games, and and he said that the offensive line play looks better down there this year.
That's good. I really hope so because it's not that they didn't have guys that can play there before. Offensive line is a tough unit. It takes chemistry for guys to kind of know where you're supposed to be and where the other guy's going to be. And you don't get that in a short period of time. And when you got a defense that they just let kind of pin their ears back and get back there, you're going to have that because, one thing, the SWAC, MEAC, SIAC, CIAA, one thing all those leagues have is edge rushers. So, they always going to have guys that's going to, pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. I am interested to see how guys play this year after, the unfortunate injury to Davius Richard last year, which kind of took the sting out of that game. Like he got hurt early in the first quarter, and I think nobody really, it killed kind of like the energy in the stadium with the crowd. And, the guys were a little bit more cautious, which is understandable. So, I'm interested to see how that goes because, you don't want to have anything happen to somebody in a situation like this, but it is football, and you playing football, things can happen. So, I want to see if guys are gonna kind of keep that energy. But there are some good name guys here on both sides of the ball, so I'm really looking forward to if I don't go, I'm gonna check it out on TV. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it go, and I'm glad they having all teams there for the combine and some Canadian teams because I think you need to have more avenues open to these guys, so and the more eyes you get on them, I think it's better. So I love what they're doing with this situation. I like how they're doing, they do the little uniform reveal and all that kind of stuff to kind of make it a special thing. And, they have the bands there for the game. They do a little fan fest and all that kind of stuff. So they do a good thing to kind of get people to come out.
They also have a job fair tied into it too. I think that the players are going to, and other HBCU students, I think, in the area are going to.
So yeah, that's a big thing too.
Yeah,
that's a big thing too.
What about the coaches for the Team Robinson?
TC Teller and Sam Shade. The coaches,
they're gonna be coaching against each other.
Yeah. So this is like the second time that we had the D2 coach actually coaching with the conference that he going to. Last time it was Coach Chennis Berry. He was the coach at Benedict, but by that point he had took the South Carolina State job, so he was still coaching, with the MEAC group. So you know, I think that's a little bit of an interesting thing. And like you say, Coach Shea gonna be coaching against Coach Taylor on the in the season in the division. So you know, I think that's the kind of thing to kind of have a little fun with. You know.
Yeah, they all know each other though. I think all those coaches are kind of friends for the most part. So it's not like you know you don't know each other and know each other's style or what they're gonna be doing. You know. Plus at this game they'll keep it real simple.
Oh
You just
yeah, like I said,
real basic stuff.
you just trying to you just trying to give guys the opportunity to make some plays, get them in space, and kind of just see what happens. You know, you're not trying to outwit the other side. You're just trying to get your guys out. Yeah, you ain't trying to come with all the crazy motion and misdirections and stuff. You're just trying to give your guys opportunity to throw the ball around. Maybe hit a couple shots down the field. If you got some some little speedy receivers, put the ball in their hands and let them work. So
Just no, I was just saying, just show their little abilities, whatever abilities they have to catch the ball or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, like I said, you don't need to get fancy. Just have a little fun. I like I said, the one thing I do like about this game is that there is a little element of pride for conferences there. Because it's typically a SWAC crowd. So it's like the fans pretty much all get behind the SWAC, the Team Robinson, which is the SWAC and SIAC, but it's always SWAC people there, and it's kind of like it's like a home game, so like everybody kind of into it, everybody rooting for their guys and cheering when they make plays. So I haven't seen me personally. I haven't seen when who the band is. I don't think, but maybe I missed it. But I know they usually have a high school band and a college band, so they may have announced it, but I haven't seen it.
What does that comment say about Richardson got hurt?
No, Davis Richard, when he got
Oh,
hurt,
last year.
he was saying that injury that he had
Yeah,
was
last year.
bad, and he ended up having to retire from football because
Yeah,
he had signed with the Roughnecks, and he ended up retiring
yeah.
from football this week. And that's unfortunate, man, because I thought that guy was, I don't say a sure shot to make the NFL, but I thought he was a guy that was going to have a good opportunity to get there. And unfortunate situation. All right, so we from the big soldier himself, he said Alcorn is going to be the band this year at the Legacy Bowl. So sounds of dynamite.
You know what that means.
We got the sounds of dynamite in the house.
The Golden Girl, Gigi's.
Oh yeah, the GGs.
The world famous.
I think one of the best things about this was it last year? I think Bama State was the band last year. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. But my wife got a picture of the honeybees and sent it to DJ. we was coming in the stadium and they was lining up to come in, and she went over asking could she take a picture for them, and they were like, yeah, so take a picture.
They be ready to pose. All them girls be ready to take a picture. They ain't worried about that. And she
texted the DJ because that's his group. So I thought that was always funny, but yeah, like I said, I hadn't really seen anything, but it's good to get that announcement out there. So if you want to go see the Sounds of Dynamite, man, $15, you can buy your end zone ticket and sit anywhere because most people don't really be there.
It's parade season down there, right? It's like
it's seriously in that time now because Mardi Gras is like in 2 weeks or so. So you deep in that time now.
So they probably gonna double up, get the game in, do a parade. I like this. Make YouTube be good right now. I'll be following the bands during this parade season.
Watching everybody do their thing.
Yeah.
Before the parade, after the parade.
Yeah. So I'm looking for. I'll be looking for those videos coming up soon.
And it always be somebody band you don't expect. it's been bands that kind of started to make their name off of parade season, you know.
Shoot, them little high school bands down there in New Orleans be blowing, boy.
Oh yeah,
They
man,
monsters. They different. They different. That's all I can say.
they will get after you, man. They would definitely get after you.
I saw. I think that were in the car got after LSU. They was
Oh
waiting
yeah,
in line to do the Super Bowl parade. I was like,
in the
dog.
car, St. Aug, them that Purple Night band in St. Aug. Man, I seen them boys come in the Mumford when I was little and give Southern a run for their money, man. It's some, I'm serious, man. If you know anybody, ask anybody who know New Orleans about St. Aug. I don't know how their band is now, but how they used to be back in the day, man. They had some serious musicians in that band, and they would come down and they would show out, man. So much love to St. Aug for that. One other thing I want to talk about football wise, and I know this is, I hate it that it happened, but of course we talked last week that Prairie View opponent North American canceled their football program, which left them without a homecoming opponent. Well, they got a homecoming opponent now, and you know we had been talking about this team anyway, but Lincoln is now. I know Lincoln is now Prairie View homecoming opponent, and I think them boys will take a game no matter what if you call them. I think they might play 2 games in one day if you call them.
Hey, they like that HBCU circuit. I know that much. They like all of that.
Indeed.
They like it. Ain't no better atmosphere. They get to go. They get, they get the whole crowd. They get the game, the band, the campus. They done the whole tour. They done the Black College tour. Exactly.
And I'm telling you, man, they like an affiliate member of the conference, man. everybody that played them. One thing I think about them dudes, man, is they I guess nobody, the one thing about when games get canceled like that, finding somebody with with an open date that match that's willing to come to you, it's hard. So like I said, those dudes, I think they'll play 2 games in the same day if you call them in the money, right? So they probably had an open date. They probably was already on their way through Texas because they don't play I don't think they play no home games, so they always on the road. So they probably just stopped at PV on the way back from somewhere or on the way to somewhere. But they the one thing about them, man, like I said, when we pull up to the stadium, you can always see the visiting team kind of milling around outside of Seymour Gym before they walk in. And them dudes was out there looking, they was looking, I say this all the time, but they look like the longest yard, man. Them dudes, some of them dudes look like they shouldn't have been in college, man. Like, look like cigarettes. Yeah. You mean like in the old Super Bowl, man? Them boys be drinking beers and smoking cigarettes at halftime, man. They look like they were just like some look like they had 5 kids and 3 jobs, man. Like, but they
shoot, they came to FAMU, I think. Willie Simmons last year. I want to believe that was them.
Yeah, I think y'all played them the same year we played them.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't like games like that. I don't like games like that because I don't want to give them kind of teams. You have nothing to gain. If you play, if some kind of way that you play them close, it's a horrible look for you.
You look bad. Yeah, make you look bad.
If you blow them out where you were supposed to, and God forbid if something happened and they beat you, you'll never hit the end of it, man. I remember that game, man. Like, I was nervous for that game, not because I thought we were gonna lose, but just the optics of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to deal with that because everybody pay attention to them kind of scores. People don't even pay attention to your games all the time, but when you play somebody like that, everybody looking at this.
Right.
I was like, man, I don't want that to hear nothing, man. So I wish the situation was different, and I hope this is a lesson to some of our teams, man. Stop scheduling these teams. I mean, because if you work on your schedule early enough, you can get you an SIAC team or somebody for homecoming. Right. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. A good
yeah, they had a quarterback who went to Valley. That kid actually was pretty good. He didn't get to play much at Valley, but he actually was a pretty good quarterback. He had a decent game against us. They had a running back on their team that year was like 5'5", man. We couldn't do nothing with that dude. He was like 5'5", 210. We couldn't do nothing with him.
That quarterback was big though. That quarterback was
tall. He was a big boy. He was a big. Yeah. He had came to Valley from UTEP, so he was a guy who kind of just bounced around, and I guess he ran out of options and he ended up there. So I look, them kind of teams, man. I just don't, I don't see any benefit from playing them. At homecoming, it is what it is because you're gonna have people there anyway. But I just don't like. TJ, that was him. So I just don't like them kind of games, man. That's just that's just all it is to it. But I understand why why they had to play them, but we need to find something. I don't know. Y'all remember the College of Faith? Y'all remember them teams?
No, I don't remember. No.
They were like College of Faith. They had like two schools. One was like in Arkansas, one was like in North Carolina, and they were just like they weren't really schools, but they played football and basketball, and so they were just like that team you call if you just want to run 100 up on somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it just they was real shady, kind of like Virginia Lynchburg a little bit. But they I think they had got in trouble for a lot of stuff with the school, the guy that was running it, and they ended up, I think they shut it down or they moved it. But
I saw a documentary about some basketball teams programs was doing that, and they were saying people was in school, but really they wouldn't be doing nothing but practicing sports and
it's that kind of situation. It's like. Yeah, like I say, them schools kind of fell off the map, and then all of a sudden, like Virginia Lynchburg and Lincoln pop up on the map. Which Lincoln is a reputable school. It's a reputable university in Oakland. They did have a good basketball program. I think they just started a football program a couple of years ago, so that's why they we just gonna be like the like the Washington Generals and go all over the place. Yeah, so they just it's like they say, you join the army, you see the world. You join a football team, you get to see the country. You get to go all over the place. But
at least SWAC.
You gonna know the SWAC schools real well, and so they, I just really hope we move on from that kind of stuff, man. But I guess it is what it is at this point. But that's pretty much the one thing I really wanted to talk about with football, because that was that's always a glaring thing, but we need to get away from them boys and find some other teams to play. But anyway, we're gonna. I'm sure we're gonna probably migrate back to football because y'all know how it goes. But let's talk a little basketball, man. We are in the crunch time. We got 5 games left in the season, so not a lot of time left. Got 3 weekends of basketball left, man. We got some women's basketball going on tonight. So we'll keep our eyes on them scores. But they got some big games this weekend. Jackson and Alcorn's a big game in men's basketball. You got FAMU and who FAMU playing? Bama State. No, FAMU Bama State on Saturday. Bethune, Alabama A&M, Southern and Grambling. They got some big games on the schedule this weekend, and I mean from here on out, everything it matters because. And on the men's side, there's like a huge tie for like 4th place and a tie for 2nd place. So it's like 6 or 7 teams battling it out for them spots in the middle of the tournament. So anything can happen, man. I'm looking forward to all these games. I did see some talk going around, which I wanted to kind of touch on for Coach of the Year. Coach Crary from FAMU is a legit candidate to win that award. He did a really good job with that team. They were picked 11th with nothing, and now they sit in 2nd place. With 5 games left. He's definitely a big candidate to win the award, and I kind of look at it like we said when we talked about the football coach of the year. Like if you turn around a team, you got just as great a chance to win it, and you probably should. But I'm a ride for my guy, depending today, I'm a ride for my guy. Now, if Southern crumble down the stretch, then I get the Coach Curry. But I'm a ride for Coach Johnson right now because I don't know if a lot of people understand what Southern is doing in terms of Southern basketball. Right now, Southern's having the best season they've had since I would say 2012, 2013. We're on pace to win the most games we done won since that time period. We on pace to win the most SWAC games that we done won since that time period. This is the first year we ever went 12-1 in conference. So Southern is doing some good things. I think a lot of people look at Southern being in first place and they're just like, oh, they in first place. They doing whatever. But historically, Southern is on a historical pace in SWAC basketball for Southern. So I think if they cross that finish line with a good record, I think he wins it. But if FAMU continue to play good basketball and let's say they finish 4-1, then I wouldn't be mad if Coach Curry got it because, like I said, I think he did a damn good job with nothing. No confidence. From anybody. Had all new team. I think he had like 3 or 4 guys come back from last year, and I don't think any of them was really contributors. And he got a good team, man. That team, that's a great shooting. They shoot lights out, and they just been winning. And so I do think he has a great chance. But until something changes, I got to go with my guy because I think, like I say, the trek that Southern's on right now has not been done at Southern. It's been done other places, but it ain't been done at Southern. So I think that's special. But I think we're gonna see what happens. Like I said, we got a lot of work still to do. We not a finished product by any means. We could lose any of these 5 games because our one weakness is free throw shooting. And because we're a horrible free throw shooting team. And if you're a SWAC coach out there, you a fan of a SWAC coach, and your team plays Southern in these last 5 games, call your coach now and tell him to look at the TSU film. TSU pressed Southern twice. We played TSU 2 times. We was up by 20 points in one game, 19 in the other. They pressed us both times in the second half, and they cut the lead down to 3, I think, both times. So if you fall behind Southern, you want to get back, put the pressure on. They got good guards, but sometimes they get a little too antsy with the ball and get a little sloppy. So you want to kind of keep Southern in check. You definitely got to pressure them. They don't always play well with pressure. So that's a little tip from me to y'all. But I'm sure they already know that.
I got to ride with Coach Query for the coach of the year so far. I mean, right now you have to give it to Southern because of they 10-1 or whatever in conference. But just the job that Query has done to put FAMU on the map in basketball is worthy of something. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
Because we didn't expect much. As especially in the first year, people was criticizing because of the 1-year contract and all that kind of stuff. But all he did was keep his head down. They started out 0-3, I think, or they had a rough beginning to the season. But he just kept it going, and all you've seen is the team steadily improve. So like you say, but it's a lot of basketball left to be played because FAMU and Southern still play again.
Yeah, so I mean, that's gonna go a long way in determining a lot of stuff with the season. And I'm gonna say this because I saw FAMU when they came to Baton Rouge, and that team that was on the floor that Saturday in the Mini Dome, that team wouldn't have beat a local high school. He got those. I mean, they were still trying to figure out who they were. He was able to turn that team around and put together a 6 or 7 game winning streak. So he went from, like I say, a team that they lost by 30, 36 or 35 at Southern, and it really wasn't that close. He went from that to being in second place in 1 year. I do think he's doing a great job and he deserves it. But I'm just carrying the banner for Southern basketball this year because I don't feel like a lot of people giving Southern the respect that they need right now. I keep saying right now because I don't know how it's going to end. But right now, I don't think a lot of people are looking at the job that Southern actually doing. And so, I mean, we got a team. Our leading score average is 9.9 points per game. You know what I'm saying? We got 11 guys that play 15 minutes a game. We don't have a go-to guy.
Y'all bench should come in and spark y'all team a lot of times when the bench come in.
We lead the nation in bench scoring. We score like 39 points per game with the bench. We lead the conference. We in the top 2 or 3 in the conference in field goal shooting. We're in the top 3 or 4 in the conference in 3-point shooting. We're second in rebounding. We first in opponent rebounding. We first in rebounding margin. We are a solid team. We're not great. We're not unbeatable. Bama State proved that. But I think a lot of people not really recognizing what Southern doing. And some of it is because FAMU playing some good basketball and they deserve the recognition. And I would pick FAMU to be a good contender in the SWAC tournament too if they can continue to stay the path. I mean, they already showing that they can be competitive with anybody. So I think
they lost by one to Bama State, I think.
Yeah, they should have beat them. So I think you give a coach like that, you give him another year to build his program. They're gonna be a long-term force at FAMU if you can keep a hold of him. Because I know a lot of people are gonna be looking at what he's doing, and even with him getting more time, other people gonna be in his ear like, man, they don't really, they don't really believe in you. They're only doing this because the heat is on. They don't really want you. So people are gonna be in his ear like this. So if you can hold on to him and he can continue to get his guys in, they're gonna be a good program, man. So I think if you're gonna get them, you need to get them now. But like I said, we'll see what happens. Like I said, it's 5 games left. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I mean, I know Grambling gonna be spitting fire from what happened the last time we played them. So we're gonna be walking into a serious trap there. Then we gotta go to Florida. So we got 3 games that we are, if we favorite, they're gonna be slight. And so it's still a lot of basketball left to play. But this is my favorite time of the year. So I'm excited, man. I love it.
And then the tournament. So it's like you say, it's pressure time right now. That's what it is. It's pressure. You got to be able to perform up under this pressure.
Hey, I wouldn't mind playing y'all again, but if we get the game go like the game started off, we not blowing that lead again. So we not blowing that lead again. And we really shouldn't have won the overtime with Jackson State if the dude would have just pulled the ball out and ran the clock down and made Jackson State foul him. We would have gave them less time for Ruffin to hit that three-point shot that's in the game overtime. So I would love to play JSU again. I hate that we play JSU once a year. I hate it. I would rather play them twice and play Alabama State and Alabama and them once or whoever, So I really wish they'd get that game back to a 2-game series because it'd be great to go to Jackson and have to try to, handle our business coming off of this one game. So I wouldn't mind seeing them guys again in the tournament. Right now, I wouldn't mind seeing anybody in the tournament. So let's just go. We ain't won a tournament game in a couple of years anyway, so we about due.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold my water a little bit, like you told me a couple weeks ago. I ain't gonna. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna just wait. But it's looking good for FAMU right now. It's looking bright. It's looking like everything going in the right direction. But I'm gonna hold up because, like you say, anything can happen. They don't call it March Madness for nothing. So,
oh yeah, like I say, in the SWAC tournament is always unpredictable. Yeah. I've seen the 8 seed go on a run and win the thing. I didn't see somebody get hot because all it takes is one. All it takes is one good game from somebody else.
Yeah. Are you off that night?
Yeah.
But what
and you
about
know
this new format? Because the 2 teams gonna get a bye, right? On two.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 seeds get a bye. So that you know that give you an extra day. Well, not so much extra day, but you don't have to play. They have 2 games to start the tournament off. It's kind of like a play-in. You know, you got 10 versus 7 and 8 versus 9, and so they probably gonna schedule them games hard anyway. So I feel like if you got to play that first game, they probably gonna make you turn around and play again like early because they love to do that kind of stuff with their scheduling. So you really gonna have to win 4. If you finish 7th to 10th, you're gonna have to win 4 games to win this thing, and it's not impossible. But that's a little extra, oomph that you got to go through. I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to before we get to the tournament with y'all, man. I'm looking forward to that game in Tallahassee. You know, like I said, I expect y'all to really come out to play. We have to really play focus. I think the thing with Southern is we get a lead, and sometimes we like to play with our food a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of get a little sloppy and sending teams to the line. We foul a lot when we get a lead, and teams. It seems like when we play somebody, they don't miss no free throws. So teams start to chip away at the lead at the free throw line, and before you know it, 15-point lead is down to like 6, and then you got to try to right the ship, which we've been doing a decent job of, but I don't think it works like that on the road. So we're gonna have to play a really good game of ball because I know, fam, you're gonna want another crack at us, because they know that wasn't their best that wasn't their best effort. So I'm looking forward to that, and we gotta go Bethune so that we don't play well at Grambling. So we got 3 tough road games. If we survive this and go 2 out of 3, I'm happy. I'm seriously happy. We go 2 out of 3. I'm ecstatic. So we'll see. Well, y'all got to, we're not gonna mail it. Y'all got to come and take it, man. Because if we make it in there, we're not giving it up without a fight. But I'm looking forward to taking on anybody, man. Except for the one team I don't want to play, and it's not because they're good. I don't want to play Prairie View, man, because they're a desperate team, man. Like they got some shooters, man, but they got no size. But they got some shooters, and they kind of the kind of team, they're the kind of team that if you
got the lead scoring in this way, don't they?
Yeah, they got 2 guys that can score, man. They got a lit bitty guy that can score, and then they got a nice guard that can score. And both of them, when we played them, they had 3 guys that had I think 2 of them had 18 points, 1 had 17, and the rest of the team had like 5 points. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, those kind of guys, man. If they can get hot, they can make it rough for you. And when you got guys that can go for 25 or 30 in a night, all it takes is one night. And so,
you won all shooting night, and they
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I'm not at Bama State. They had a guy go for 26. And, we didn't play as well as we did the day before because we shot the ball really bad in that game. But we had a chance to win it, but we missed 4 free throws down the stretch. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, Southern is not invincible. So I'm not sitting there saying Southern going to run through everybody, but I like my chances against everybody. But I'm excited to see.
Well, on the women's side, Jackson women's still running sharp in basketball, right?
They right there in the mix. It's a 3-way tie for first place. Because Southern came to Louisiana and lost 2 games this weekend. Southern and Grambling was able to beat them, and now they dropped into a tie with Southern and Jackson State. They still those Jackson State and Southern still have to play each other, so that's going to be a big game now. With moving around the standings, so that I'm looking forward to seeing it. And Alabama A&M, their women's team is good too. Coach Thornton, she's doing a good job up there. So they right behind everybody. They 10-3, so they still right there. They got to play Southern again. So they still got a couple matchups to see. But I think the women's side is top heavy. But Alcorn is a team that can catch you. They beat Southern. They got some nice players. Grambling still, I think, is a team that they haven't had the greatest of season this year, but they play a aggressive style of ball that can keep them in games. But other than that, I think everybody else kind of just there. But I think one of them I still think TSU probably is still the front runner because I don't know, their team just been able to overwhelm people for a while. Southern just been able to have they number. Although when we played them the first time, they came back from 15 down in the fourth quarter. But they almost did the same thing this time. They was down by 13 and came back and actually took the lead late in the fourth quarter before Southern went on 11-0 run to win the game. But you know, Southern's defensive team, their offense is spotty. So if they keep you under 50 a lot. But the problem is Southern will score 52. So they're not gonna, you're always gonna have the opportunity to get back in the game and make a run. So like I said, we'll see. Yeah, don't sleep on them Bulldogs. They gonna be they right there in the mix. They just haven't been able to beat none of the teams in front of them. So, we'll see. They still got to match up again with Southern at the end of the season. And
so once you get to the tournament, you saying on that women's side, it could be any one of those four.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to,
Alcorn, Southern, Jackson, A&M.
I'll take Southern. So,
yeah,
like I said, I think it's a full team. I think it's a full team hunt for the title. I just, I think out of the four, I think right now Texas Southern is the front runner. I just don't know if they're gonna have it in a tournament because that's just a different level of experience. Playing those games where it's one and done. Sometimes teams don't really respond to that well, but I do think that they got some scorers, and so if you can't stop them, they will light it up on you. And they've shown against a lot of teams that they don't fold under pressure. They've had some comebacks in quite a few games, so they don't fold if they fall behind. And that to me always makes for a dangerous team because when you get a team down and they know they can come back, it don't always work. But if they know they can come back, they're never gonna give up, and so that makes them a tough out. And that's the kind of team, that's going to be tough to knock out. You're going to have to really keep your foot on their neck if you get up on them.
I saw FAMU Jackson. They played to like 37-40 or something like that. I couldn't believe they scored that game.
Yeah, that's like a Southern game, man. That's the kind of score Southern be having. we routinely I
don't think they had double digits in any quarter. All the quarter, might have been one quarter where they had double digit scoring. All the rest of them was like 8 and 4, and I'm like, what kind of game was this?
Shit, that's a football score.
It looked like one of them little middle school girls basketball games.
I know. That's the kind of game that they make you go drag you to go see your little niece play or something like that, and you watch this team.
I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I was like, "This got to be halftime." I could not believe that.
Like they ain't got more game. That it.
Yeah. What did he say?
He said, "You know why that score was like that."
We was beating them the whole game until the very last minute of the game. They came from behind and won. Seemed like both of them was playing sorry to me.
Sometimes you have those kind of games where like both teams kind of just drag each other down, even when they're good. Like they just drag each other down, and sometimes you get them kind of ugly games, man. Like you just have to shake your head, and you don't know how you're gonna get through it. But
they burn the tape and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's my motto: burn the tape. Burn the tape and don't look back, man. Even if you win, just act like that game ain't happened. Let's move on to the next one. Like both teams make a combined 3 3-pointers or something like that. So Yeah, up by 20 with a score like that. That's scary. That's scary, man. That's some scary basketball right now.
That's bad.
But oh, switch a gear a little bit. It's now baseball season, and
Yeah, I
they
got
had
I
that
got
they had the Cactus Jack Invitational this weekend in Houston. And I thought Southern went 2-1 in it, but Grambling beat Grambling run ruled us 20-10. So that was ugly. But shout out to Alabama A&M for picking up that victory over Grambling the following day. But Southern beat Texas Southern in Prairie View, so they won 2 games there. Then we turned around to play LSU last night. No, was it Tuesday night? Yeah, we played LSU on Tuesday night, and they did not hold back. We beat them last. Yeah, so they beat us 13-1, which I knew they was not going to experiment. They wasn't going to use this game to pitch guys that don't normally pitch. You know, they wasn't about to play they back up shortstop or nothing like that. So they was going to get us, and they made sure they got us.
They weren't gonna let that happen again.
They was not gonna let that happen again. They was not gonna let that happen again. I knew it was coming. I'm surprised I'm surprised, you know, it didn't get worse than that. But you know, I don't know. I look forward to this baseball season. I think Grambling's still gonna be a really good team. Of course, the Florida team's always gonna be dangerous. Bama State, Jackson State, Texas Southern. I think it's gonna be a highly contested season. And I'm looking forward to it.
SWAC baseball is actually good. You know, it's a good product to watch, to play the games. Typically exciting. You know, you get home runs. You get a good little dude that be switching out pitches and stuff. If you like baseball, you know.
Oh yeah.
I can't never make it through the whole game. I have to go in and out. But
but the one thing about SWAC baseball is SWAC baseball is the only baseball I see what teams talk trash. Like it's a lot of talking from dugout to dugout. There's a lot of talking at the home plate. It's just a lot, and the umps have to stay busy because the teams get after each other, and it's just like a really spirited game, you know.
Yeah,
and it's competitive. You know, the top of the league is always good. The bad teams are always bad, but you know, adding Bethune and FAMU to really increase the depth of the league. So now, you know, it's like you have to come to play, especially in the tournament. You have to come to play every day because you got teams that win non-conference games in this conference. You know, you got teams that can knock the cover off the ball. You got teams that are pitching oriented. So you got to be consistent. There's no more, you know, it's no more like at one point it was Jackson on the east and Southern on the west, and sometimes TSU. But it ain't like that no more. You know, it's a lot of teams who very, very competitive, man, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Southern bowling team, man. They co-champs again with Bama State.
Oh, they won.
Yeah, they're able to pull it on out. But we co-champs with the Hornets again. Did the same thing last year.
Yeah, FAMU baseball team they've been taking their little lumps here and there. I can't remember the teams that they played earlier this week though, but I saw some big losses, like 11-1, 11-0, something like that. So, I mean, it's that time of year we all take our little lumps. You know, we have to play up games, I guess. Like you say, they got to earn their money or whatever.
Yeah. And, you know, them teams not going to, you know, they know what's at stake. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to let nothing happen.
That's that same situation like we were talking about with Lincoln. They treat us like we Lincoln. Yeah.
Exactly. And I've been to games with LSU and Southern play, and it's like they don't want, you know what I'm saying? Rightfully so, they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to fall behind in the kind of games because that's a bad look on their team. You know, that's a bad look on their program. And so I think a lot of times the difference in those games are honestly just like in any sport, it's the depth. You know, like if they pitch a struggling, they can probably go pull somebody out the dugout. I mean, out the bullpen who can pitch probably better than our ace. So you know they have the numbers. You know, of course they usually have more consistent hitters. And so it's always a thing where if you can find a way to get them, you know, you have to take advantage of it.
And they players look different. They look different. You can tell that nutrition and bodybuilding.
Oh
yeah. They players look different in their uniform. I just say it like that.
Yeah, you like I think one year we had went to it was a football game, but it was a FBS game, and I know it was Louisville. I think they were playing FSU, and we got to the stadium when Louisville team was walking in, you know, off the bus, and I was like, that was my first time really seeing like a team like that out of pads. I'm like, these dudes look like football players, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's cut, you know what I'm saying? The punter is cut, you know, like everybody got the size, and of course, you know, they got numbers, which is always gonna be the difference in games like this. And you know, the SWAC is getting better with the size of their guys, but I think that's one of the things that's an issue with us in basketball. We don't have a lot of guys that got good size that play to their size. We got guys that like 6'8" that want to be, they want to shoot threes, 6'9", 6'10", want to be outside and don't play inside, you know, and we get beat on the boards by a lot of them teams when, you know, you can't really play like that. So like I say, you can always see the difference, you know, you can always see the difference.
Yeah, I saw that when FAMU came to play softball down here against USL, the softball team. It was evident even with the girls, with the women softball, and they had like 25, 30 players, so they were just chopping at the bit to get in the game.
Yeah, because you know they all look at the schedule and be like, well, I know I'm playing in this game. You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't play no other time this year, I know I'm getting some at bats in this game. So let's let's get going. You know, so it's always that kind of, you know, it's always that kind of situation that makes for, you know, I mean, it makes for a tough situation. But if you could ever pull them off, it's a good feeling, man. It's always a good feeling to be.
Yeah, yep.
And I think LSU baseball is probably the only sport that will continue to play you even if you beat them. I know if you beat their basketball team, you probably never showing up on the schedule again. And God forbid if you ever find a way to beat their football team, you definitely ain't showing up on the schedule again. In-state school beat LSU in football, they might try to close them. They might try to close the school down. I mean, I remember UAB, I think it was, one year came in Tiger Stadium and beat them people, man. They was sick, man. But you know, and so, you know, we on the other end, you know, with Lincoln and them kind of people, like, man, don't lose to these guys, man.
Right.
Do not lose to these guys. But
yeah, well, all I know is long as we get into conference play and we can be competitive, that's all that matters for us.
Oh yeah, because you know, when you know the one thing about these leagues, you know, our leagues and in these sports, we only got one opportunity to make the tournament. Ain't no at large. So you know, anybody can, you know, everybody's dream's still alive. Even if you hadn't had a great season, if you can get in the tournament and win, you get the chance to go. So
you get to go.
You know, everybody still got the opportunity to make it. Everybody still got the opportunity to achieve a goal, and that makes for an interesting tournament because the pressure is on from day one of every tournament. You know, baseball is a little bit different because it's double elimination. So you know, you can get that bad game out of the way, but if you fall in losers bracket, you can't get out. Obviously, it's over. But you know, sometimes you have a bad first game and you bounce back and, you know, run the table the rest of the way. Basketball, you lose, it's over with. So the pressure's on. The pressure's on for everybody. That's it. The pressure's on for everybody, and I believe in surviving in advance. In a tournament, I don't care how much my team win by. I just want to win. Like we could play the worst team in the league and win by 1. I don't care because I just want to make it to the next round and see if we get better in the next round. So survive and advance. That's my basketball motto, and that's gonna be my motto all season. So just survive and advance. But man, I think that's gonna do it for us tonight, man. We just about up on the 7 o'clock hour. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Shout out to my boy Big Soldier out there in the chat holding it down. Shout out to everybody doing their thing. But to kind of catch some of these basketball games, one thing I will say, man, I do hate. I get it, but I do hate the fact that a lot of these games behind paywall, so you can't really watch them. So I'm gonna see if I can kind of catch up with a couple of these games, and we'll be back next week, man. Y'all continue to hold it down, and we're gonna do the same. And y'all stay safe, and we'll see y'all next Thursday.
SWAC smoke.
That's right.